this is how we do it.
You're listening to the Nasser Kyobe Show.
Nasser played not just high-level high school football. He was a logger at UPS.
Over the middle it goes, and the pass was complete, and he gets absolutely belted at the 40-yard line. The sideline erupts as Nasser Kyobe just exploded the wide receiver.
Did Nasser say things like, I'm sending you to outer space?
And as he got his momentum going, was chopped down. Nice tackle there from Nasser Kyobe.
Go Hawks.
How's it going, everybody? You're listening to another edition of the Nasser Kyobe Show. A reminder, you can catch all my podcasts on YouTube under the Nasser Kyobe Show. Well, we got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to be talking Hawks, getting you ready for the showdown this Saturday versus the New Orleans Saints at CenturyLink in the divisional playoffs. But before we jump into all that good stuff, there's one game I can't just gloss over, and that was the Vizio BCS National Championship game. What a game. What a football game. And another great thing, the BCS is over. Thank God. That was a train wreck if I ever saw one in the last 10 years. Unreal. But in its last game, it did produce one of the best national championship games we've ever seen. And that was when Florida State defeated Auburn 34-31 in a back-and-forth crazy football game. And yes, finally, the dominant, unstoppable SEC goes down. Finally. I mean, I didn't really care that much who won, but to be honest, I was ready for this SEC dominant stuff to stop. And it might not be over, but at least for 1 year, we don't have to hear about how good the SEC is. And listening to the game on the radio, and Mike Tirico is awesome, by the way. I listened to him a little bit, but that dude is awesome. And here's him calling the final play as Jameis Winston throws the touchdown pass.
On first and goal from the 2, he's back to pass. He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Florida State! Touchdown! And the Noles are 13 seconds away from a perfect season.
Yeah, there it was. Dude is awesome. But how about Jameis Winston? Dude, undefeated season, wins the Heisman, has to deal with all the rape scandal the entire season, comes out and really didn't play that great of a game. Wasn't that great until it really counted. In his last drive, I believe he was like 6 of 7, connected on that final touchdown pass, and dude got it done. And hats off to him, and he's handled himself real well through all this, and it was a great game. And, I know football's a religion in the South, and there are some pissed off Auburn fans and some bad stuff happening, but there's probably no one as pissed off as one Auburn fan. His name is Mark Skiba. Now, this man, whoa, do I feel for this guy. So last January, he goes down to Las Vegas and places a $100 bet on his diehard home team, the Auburn Tigers. Okay, remember, they were atrocious last season. Puts a $100 bet on them for them to win the national title game. And at the time, the odds were 500-1. And now everyone's known this year that Auburn become a team of destiny with the return against Alabama. Auburn's going to win the football game. That great radio call. And then the catch against Georgia. So that people thought of them as a team of destiny. But this man, because he placed $100 on his Tigers, he was going to win $50,000 if his Tigers won the football game. $50,000. Well, unfortunately, they didn't. But other people who were, well aware of sports gambling and all that were encouraging him, like, hey, dude, you need to hedge a bet against Auburn to ensure you get a payday. And up until, close to the game, he was gonna. But he's a diehard loyal fan, and he couldn't bet against his Tigers. And, I have some respect for that, some loyalty. But when it comes to betting, dude, money's money. But in the end, he doesn't have any regrets, but he might. $50,000 gone. Whew. Jameis Winston, you made one man very unhappy. But anyway, all right, let's talk Seahawks, okay? We got a big game coming up this Saturday. The Saints are coming back to town after they've been destroyed the last couple times they've come up here. And just in case you guys have forgotten some of the last times they've been up here, I don't think they have. And here's one of the best moments in playoff history. Last time the Saints were up here in the playoffs.
2nd and 10 at the 33. Matthew under center. Obamanu goes in motion right to left. Turn and handle into left side. Finds a little bit of a hole. Keeps his legs moving. He's across the 40. Midfield. 45. He's on the run. Lynch. 40. Pushes him at 35. Look at him go. He's down to 20. 15. He could go. He is going to go. Touchdown Seahawks. Oh my word. A 67-yard run. Marshawn Lynch. Unbelievable. He must to knock 5 guys down on the way to the end zone. The Beast is alive and well.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, the Beastquake, unless you guys have forgotten. Probably the best run, not probably, the best run in NFL history, playoff history. I was lucky enough to be in attendance that day as we took down our 7-9 Seahawks, took down the defending Super Bowl champion New Orleans Saints. Wow, that moment. I'll never forget that as long as I live. I'll tell my kids about it. My section turned into a mosh pit. I got beer spilled on me. I spilled other people's beer. It was one of the best moments I've ever witnessed in sports. And that was one of the last time they've been up here in the playoffs. But you guys remember they were up here Monday night in December, and it didn't end well for them again.
Right now the Seahawks have their pass rushing group in on 3rd and 5. Shotgun snap to Breeze, steps up in the pocket, looks, he's hit, the ball comes out, it's picked off by the Seahawks, coming near side 20, 15, Michael Bennett 5, touchdown Seahawks! Ball was slapped away from Drew Brees as he was getting set to throw right into the hands of Bennett, and it was good night, Irene.
Yep, that was the last time, and as the Seahawks pounded the Saints 34-7. I mean, those two plays generated some earthquake activity. I mean, the Beastquake did. And then on Bennett's touchdown, the Seahawks retook their sound record, at least at CenturyLink, for the loudest outdoor stadium in the world. But it's no secret. The Saints have not done well up in Seattle. And to put it lightly, it's been a place of horrors for Drew Brees. It's not been a good place for him. But, everyone talks about it's hard to beat a team twice. It's harder to beat the team the second time. Well, you know what? We're a pretty darn good football team, and we absolutely embarrass these guys. And don't get me wrong, I don't think it's going to be embarrassment this next time they come up here. I don't. Not at all. They're a great football team. Sean Payton's too good of a coach. But I still very confident in our Hawks. And let's kind of jump into that last game that Week 13 game against the Saints. The worst offensive performers in Drew Brees and Sean Payton era, by far. I mean, these guys, awful. Drew Brees threw for 144 passing yards. They managed 12 first downs. They were 6 of 15 on 3rd down. They had 1 turnover, and they had 7 penalties, 52 yards. The Seahawks, on the other hand, Russell threw for 302 yards. The team rushed for 127. We had 23 first downs, 7 of 14 on 3rd downs. So, I mean, we came out and we put the hammer to them. We took it to them. And I don't think it's going to be that bad because I really don't. I don't think, like I said, they're too good of a football team, too good of coaches to come down here and get their beat like that again. But it could happen. Let's not forget, we're a darn good football team. Let's not forget that the team that the Saints just beat, the Eagles, have a 32nd rated pass defense. Dead last. You know what the Seahawks have? Yeah, the number 1 rated pass defense. So they're coming up here, and yeah, they have coaches too, so they're gonna coach, they're gonna practice hard, but so do we. Okay. Pete Carroll and the guys are gonna have our boys ready to go. Okay, for one, the 12th man's ready in their head. Sean Payton's down there painting Seahawks logos on their practice facility to kind of, I don't know, to make it easier. Is that gonna make you hear any better? The special earplugs that they have? No. We're ready in their head. And we're dominant, and it's the last 2 times I've been up here, it's been terrible. It's been awful for them. So we're in their head at that point. And I just think we're too good. I think it's a little too much for them to overcome to come up to Seattle again and try to knock off the best team in football. And just looking back on that game, and I'm going to get my keys to the game in a little bit, but this is why the Seahawks were so dominant. And this is the recipe to success and how they're going to win in the playoffs. Okay, so the Saints come in, and Sean Payton actually talked about it, saying his first play call was the worst in his career, he feels like. I mean, it's loud in CenturyLink. It's right after the raise a 12-man flag. We're trying to set a sound record, so it's deafening in there. And they run a little running play where he has the option to go right or left and just get stuffed, and then the place just goes nuts. So the Saints go 3 and out early. Okay. The Seahawks right away drive the length of the field, don't score, they get a field goal, so they get 3, okay? So they kind of show they can move the ball. Next possession, turnover, that's where Bennett's TD, Avrill's strip, sack, fumble, touchdown. And then we jump on them 10-0 right away, okay? Next possession for New Orleans, 3 and out. Next possession for Seattle, Russell Wilson and Zach Miller connect on 2 big plays, ending in a touchdown, putting them up 17-0. 17-0. In the first three drives, they had 0 first downs. 0. Okay? So they're up 17-0, and to be honest, in that environment, when you go down 17-0, yeah, you might want to pack up because the game's over. You are not coming from behind down 17 points in the first quarter at CenturyLink. It's just not going to happen. Okay, and the big thing I looked at is the drives. Okay, the Saints, here I'm going to tell you their first 6 drives of that game. Punt, fumble, punt, touchdown, punt, punt. Okay, and the Seahawks first 6 drives. We have field goal, touchdown, punt, touchdown, punt. So on 5 of the 6, that's actually 7. Oh, I'm bad at math. But anyway, 5 of the first 6, they walk away with points. They walk away with points. And that's the thing. The Seahawks need to jump on them early. We jump on them early. We shut them down. We get the crowd who's ready to be nuts into that ball game. It's going to be very hard for them to come back. And that's the thing. And that was kind of the recipe against St. Louis is when we got that early pick 6 and we went up. I mean, I feel like it takes a lot of pressure off our offense. And now when you got guys reeling at CenturyLink, we got teams down trying to fight from behind. It is difficult. It is. I mean, it's hard enough to play there as it is, but it's very difficult. But there's some weird, not weird, but there's some history that goes away from the Seahawks, not in their favor. NFL teams seeded 6th in the playoffs are 5-2 against number 1 seeded team over the past 8 years, which is a crazy thought to think that the 1 seed could be 2-5 against the number 6 seed in the playoffs. But that's what it is, Unfortunately, not to remind all our Seahawks, but the Steelers did it when they won the Super Bowl. I mean, the Packers have done it. It's happened. But here's the thing, okay? And I loved how Pete Carroll talked about it. He said, you know what? Yeah, that might be true. That's the history, but we're here to break it down. So they're embracing the challenge. And let's not forget, yeah, that's some recent history, but we're still the best team in football. Best team in football. So those kind of stats mean absolutely nothing to me. None. But what does mean something to me is Percy Harvin. So we learned last week that he was going to practice, and he ended up practicing Thursday and Friday. Okay. Which was big, and now we're getting flirted with again. Is Percy going to come back? What's that going to mean for our offense? Here's the thing. He is a dynamic player. We only get better if he's in the lineup. Teams have to account for him. We are a much better football team if we have him. Do I think we can win a Super Bowl without him? Yes. I do think if we have him, we're dominant. Now, here's Pete Carroll talking about Percy and getting us ready for this weekend.
If he's playing, he's playing, is the way I'm looking at it, and it's the way he's looking at it as well. He just wants to go. And so that's, we'll see if we make it through the weekend, if it works out right, and if he catches the balls in practice and does all, runs good routes and all that stuff, then it'll help our decision to see how much he can play.
Well, there it is. We don't know if he's going to go, but if Pete said if he's going to go, he's going to go, meaning what I take that is he's going to return kicks. He's going to line up in the backfield. He's going to line up in the slot. He's going to be all over the football field. So we'll see. And here's the thing. If he does play, he gets another week off, assuming the Seahawks handle business, get the job done after the NFC Championship game. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. But he's been on the shelf for a long time. He's been healing up. So my fingers are crossed. If I see that man suited up on Saturday, Saints, you better get ready. Because not only you have to deal with 12th man, you have to deal with Marshawn Lynch, this Seahawks team at CenturyLink. Now you got to deal with Percy. It's going to be overwhelming. I think if that happens, the Saints got no shot. None. Especially with their secondary issues you saw at the end of the last game against the Eagles. But the thing on Percy is hey, we don't necessarily need him to win, but that guy makes us very good. Not that we're not great already, but he makes us scary. Guys got to account for different things. So I'm just crossing my fingers because we're not going to know anything till game time. He might sue. He's game time decision. We're going to wait because we've been through this season. We know what's going to happen. So I got my fingers crossed, and I'm just hoping Mr. Percy gets in the lineup. But all right, here's how we're going to do it. Here's how we're going to win the football game. Okay, here are my keys to victory. They seem kind of simple and kind of cliche. I'm sorry, but here's what it is. We have to run the football, period. Run the football. We kind of started to get it going last week against St. Louis. We had kind of gotten away for it for a while. There was about 5-game stretch in there. Marshawn Lynch only averaged 45 yards. Okay, that's not going to get it done. We need to get back to running the football just like we did last week. And I kind of saw things start to get better. Things start working. Tom Cable's getting things going, hopefully running the football. And that's one thing that we need to do. We need to limit our penalties. We're a penalized team. And I've kind of come to terms with that. But a wrong penalty or a bad penalty at a bad time of the game can cost us. Because this is playoffs. You win or you go home. Okay? You win or you go home. So we really have to limit our penalties, and we got to be smart. We can't be like the Rams. Not that I'm saying we do that. My goodness, have that kind of debacle with get 3 penalties before you run a play. But pretty much we just got to be disciplined, and we have to limit our penalties because you can't give Drew Brees extra chances and opportunities to score, because if you give him too many, he's going to break your back. My other one is we got to start early. Like I said the last time we played him, take that first punch, get them on their heels early. Preferably I like it to score, get a couple stops right away, take the pressure off our offense. If we score early, we get them on their heels, they're reeling, crowd's into it. It's a very tough place to play, tough place to win, especially if you're down early. And that's really it. And I think we need to score touchdowns instead of field goals. But the main things for me are running the football, limiting penalties, and starting early. This is a game where I think, like I said, I've said it before, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I do think these guys can win by double digits. We punch them in the mouth early. We establish our will, running the football. We score early. We get a couple stops, maybe turnover. And that's the thing. We're ball hawking defense. We're going to turn them over. We're going to do it. So those are my keys to the game, and I cannot wait for Saturday. Saturday cannot come soon enough. It's Wednesday. I'm counting down these seconds until Saturday. There's Bach. So this show is flown by. It's coming to an end. Is that it? I'm ready to go. I'm fired up, and this Seahawks team, with the possible addition of Percy Harvin coming back, how brutal it's been for the Saints to play at CenturyLink. I think the way our defense is playing, we punch them in the mouth early, get them on their heels, run the football, limit penalties, and start early. I don't think the Saints have a chance. But then that's just my opinion. What the hell do I know? We're going to have to see what happens on Saturday, because I'm telling you, man, I'm so happy I get to be there. It is going to be live. 12th man is going to be rocking. I can't wait for Saturday. But until the next edition, this has been a great show. You can remember to catch all my podcasts on YouTube under the Nasser Kyobe Show. Can't wait for Saturday. I'll be back next week to recap what happens, and hopefully be praying for an NFC Championship game right here at the Clink next Saturday. Till next time, guys.